You know we had to do it. Directed by Ivan Reitman and starring Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis, Annie Potts and more. Ghostbusters is a supernatural comedy about three parapsychologists called Ray Stantz, Egon Spengler and Peter Venkman, played perfectly by Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis and Bill Murray respectively. Following an encounter at the New York Public Library, they are fired and kicked out of Columbia University by the dean. So they decide to go into business for themselves and they set up a paranormal investigation and elimination service called Ghostbusters. Meanwhile, spectral activity in New York keeps building as a threat of an ancient evil looms large over the city. This film is based on Dan Aykroyd's own fascination with spirituality and was conceived as a project for him and his pal John Belushi, where the characters would travel through time and space to face off against all sorts of demonic and supernatural threats. However, following Belushi's death in March 1982, Aykroyd was paired up with Harold Ramis to rewrite the script, set it in New York, and make it more realistic. With its expensive special effects, which was a first for a comedy movie, Ghostbusters earned a whopping $282.2 million during its initial theatrical run, which increased through further releases to $295.7 million, making it the most successful comedy movie of the 80s. And it wasn't just financially successful either. The Library of Congress, which is the de facto National Library of the United States, singled the movie out for preservation in the National Film Registry. They found it to be culturally, historically and aesthetically significant. The cultural impact of this movie cannot be overstated. You only have to show someone the logo and they know exactly what it is, or ask someone who you're going to call and they will most likely answer with Ghostbusters, because this film set the benchmark. It also helped to popularise the suffix of Busters, where a slew of products and services began using it, such as Grimebusters, Dirtbusters and Dustbuster. As with most 80s movies, this film has a great soundtrack, and it's made up of 10 songs that include the mega-hit theme song by Ray Parker Jr., along with other contemporary music used in the film by artists such as Mike Smiley, the Busboys, and Elmer Bernstein, who wrote the original theme music for the movie. This is the first movie I remember seeing as a kid. It scared the life out of me at the time, but I have grown to absolutely love it since then. And my brother and I can quote this movie till the cows come home. It is simply brilliant. They really managed to capture lightning in a bottle when they made this, which is illustrated perfectly by Ghostbusters 2, released in 1989, that had the same cast and the same director, but simply wasn't as good. But that is for another video. The only negative I have about this movie is that I think some of the special effects haven't dated very well, especially with the advent of high definition. That being said, they have gone back and remastered it in recent years, particularly for the 4K release, and it looks vibrant, crisp, and better than ever. To me, it's pretty close to perfect in any case. Now, there are many things I love about this movie. The chemistry between the characters, the comedy, the drama, the special effects, it's all there. But most of all, I love the association that it has for me. It takes me back to when I was younger, to a life long ago, and who among us doesn't yearn for yesteryear? So after the somewhat lackluster Ghostbusters of 2016, which I did enjoy, I'm glad the new movie Ghostbusters Afterlife is continuing the legacy of the original, with at least familial connections to Egon Spengler and the tantalising tease of the original cast returning. So why don't you strap on a proton pack and go back to where it all began? Enjoy this riot of hilarious fun and watch Ghostbusters before you go see Afterlife when it hits cinemas later this year. Now, I genuinely wish I could score this higher, but my scores are out of 10, so Ghostbusters, the original from 1984, gets 10 out of 10 from me. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe to see all future content.